the end of every year, I start thinking about the next year, and I start thinking about our business, and I start thinking about what are we experiencing, what's important to us, and what's important to our members. Out of that comes the theme for the following year. And so the theme for this year is power, purpose, tradition. Each one of those words obviously has a specific meaning. Power, that's what we do. It's like the sports adage, go with what you're good at. That's what we've chosen to do.
Providing power is, well, obviously it's essential, but it's not just the electricity, it's the stuff you can do with it. I mean, when we supply power to somebody, it's huge.
When it comes to rates and power quality, we've never been more competitive, and our system has never been in better condition. Our average consumer, using about 1,400 kilowatts a month, is saving $30 per month compared to the local investor-owned utility. And our power quality, our outage time has never been lower.
Reliable power is everything. Nowadays, we just turn the switch on, we turn the stove on, and it's always there. Yellowstone Valley Electric has never failed us.
So I think we're exceeding in those two areas. And I think we do it extremely efficiently. We have more members served per employee than 95% of the co-ops in the country.
My dad was in line work in the 50s. After I graduated high school, him and I got in a cable TV company together, climbing poles for them. He went back to power, and I followed him shortly after that in 1988. The big change for the lineman himself is the equipment. The bucket trucks that are so much more available, and the physical work itself, to be able to work out of a bucket truck instead of off your tools when you're hot sticking, and it wore you out by the end of the day, especially working off of the pole. Now we've all moved into the bucket trucks with our rubber goods and all our protection. It's made it a lot safer, and you can do a lot more work a lot faster. The technology in for the linemen for us is probably like iPads and mapping, and we can chase our outages so much more efficiently than we used to. You know, we used to drive out there and look for the little lights, and then we started there. And now, first thing you do when you turn on your iPad, you go see what's out and then go fix it. It makes a big difference on our response time.
Our purpose goes well beyond just providing power. I feel we have a purpose to empower our members to improve their lives. And what exactly does that mean? Well, if you think about all the different communities that we serve, if those communities are thriving, our co-op is thriving. We do things like provide scholarships. We provide rebates. We're trying to meet the member where they are. We're trying to meet their needs. The biggest piece of purpose for me and the program that has the most impact is Operation Roundup. That program started back in 2018, and to date, we have distributed $350,000 in grants to over 60 different organizations in our service territory.
We've been able to fund the VFW in Warden's installation of a boiler. We were able to help Park City's community with their park upgrade. Then we've done small things like buy whiteboards for a Montessori school, or buy a warming food table for the rescue mission.
It's those charitable organizations inside of each one of those communities telling us what their greatest need is, and then Operation provides funding for that need, and to me it doesn't get any better than that. Tradition has two pieces in my mind. The first one is the co-op business model, which I think in today's world is still a hidden gem.
Reliable electricity is so important to everything we do on a farm, and we never take for granted that the reason we even have affordable power is because our grandparents had the foresight and the courage to develop a system that we use today, that we own today.
The second piece is, I feel like we run a first-class business. The ultimate compliment to me is when our employees want their friends and families to share in their experience of working at our co-op. We've had fathers and sons work together. We've had brothers work together. We've had fathers and daughters work together. Lots of cousins. It's not just a cliche to say that we have a family environment. I believe at this co-op, we truly do.
I mean, even for being a big growing co-op, we're still Yellowstone Valley Co-op. People still know who we are. and they do know our names. I think people kind of think of us as just part of the community. And they're not afraid to call and say, hey, my cat's up a tree, or hey, it's not unusual for us to show up and give them a little extra help and stuff like that. So I hope they kind of think of us as part of a community, part of the people you call for help.
There's 25 electric co-ops in the state of Montana. We're not just the second largest co-op in the state, we're actually a leader in the country in a lot of categories. Where are we today? What's going on today at our cooperative? And we're expanding. We're expanding not just externally. Everybody sees the external expansion. They see the new subdivisions and the new businesses, a lot of new commercial accounts that we're going through, but we're expanding internally too. I don't want to lose sight of what we do. We provide power. And I also don't want to lose sight, as busy as we are, that we have a purpose greater than power at our cooperative, and that's to empower our membership. And finally, I love the history. I love the history of our co-op. I love the history of co-ops across the country. Always in the back of my mind is tradition. And that's important to me, that we remember where we started with a focus on where we're headed. That's the thought process that went into this year's theme, and that's how I came up with power, purpose, tradition.